the guitars that are currently in my collection, my custom shop Strat has to be my go-to. Some guitars you just develop an instant bond with, and that's definitely what happened with this guitar here. However, if I was stranded on a desert island and I could only choose to have one guitar delivered to said island, I would have to go for a Telecaster, and in this video I'm going to explain to you why. Before we get into it though, my name is Ross Campbell from bulletproofguitarplayer.com. Welcome to my channel. I am very proud to say that today's video is sponsored by Fender. More on that later. Here's a bit of backstory on my love affair with the Telecaster. So back when I was a student working a part-time job in a pub, I remember storing away cash in a mason jar that had the words Tele Fund scribbled on the front of it. This was in late 2014, and that summer I had visited Nashville, Tennessee for the first time on a family holiday. And when I came home from that trip, I was obsessed with country guitar players like Brad Paisley, and I desperately wanted to get myself a Telecaster because, as we all know, the Telecaster is the go-to guitar for country playing. So after a few months of saving and filling up that mason jar, I was eventually able to empty it in return for my first ever Telecaster, which was this guitar right here, a Fender American Special that I bought in 2014. And I immediately fell in love with this thing. And whilst the main motivation for me buying this guitar was, as I said, chasing that country guitar tone that I'd fallen in love with from listening to guys like Brad Paisley and Brent Mason, I soon realized, not long after I got this guitar, that Tele sound great for so much more than just country. The bridge pickup on a Telecaster is very chameleon-like, let's say. If you play on clean or overdriven settings, you'll get a twangy but resonant sound that sounds amazing, and you can really push that twanginess. If you pick really close to the bridge saddles, you'll get a really gritty sound that just works perfectly for country and blues playing. Now, the bridge pickup on a Telecaster is of course a single coil, but it's an entirely different beast to a single coil bridge that you'd find on a Strat. Play on a high gain setting with a Telecaster and the bridge pickup will retain that same twanginess but also add so much body, resonance and fullness to the tone. It's like it knows you need more beefiness to work with because you're playing on a high gain sound, and it gives you exactly that. Which makes the Telecaster a great option not only for country playing but for rock playing as well. And that's what I mean when I say that the bridge pickup on a Tele is kind of chameleon-like. I've never found that to be the case with the bridge pickup on a Strat, talking about single coils of course. Let's be real, nobody buys a Strat for the bridge pickup. With that guitar, it's all about those glorious neck pickup tones. And it's not that the Strat bridge pickup sounds bad, but it just, to my ears, it sounds a bit weak and thin in comparison to the Tele's bridge pickup. I feel like you get more body, grit, and sustain with the Tele. Now, I've had this video topic in the back of my mind for what feels like years now. So when Fender approached me and said, "Hey Ross, we are relaunching our American professional lineup of guitars. Do you want a Telecaster to feature on your channel?" I obviously said, well, yeah, I'll gladly take one of them. But I also thought, oh, now's the perfect time to make that Telecaster video that I've been thinking about for years now. So this is my new baby. This is the American Professional 2 Telecaster from Fender in this beautiful, sparkly, misty blue green finish. At the time of this video going live on my channel, this will have literally just been announced by Fender, so at the time of me filming it, I actually don't know much about this guitar, but what I can tell you that's different about this Telecaster as compared to the others that I own is that if you look here, you can see it's got a slightly sculpted neck heel, which doesn't make higher fret access tremendously easy, but it does help with reaching those higher frets. And it's also got a push-push tone knob that, when in the middle position on the pickup selector, makes an interesting difference to the sound. Anyway, I'm pretty damn delighted with this guitar, so shout out to Fender for sponsoring this video and for sending me the guitar. You guys are going to see and hear this in plenty of videos to come in the future. And if you want to know more about the American Professional 2 Telecaster, or maybe get one for yourself, I've left a link in the description box for you to check it out. So we've established that the Telecaster is great for country and rock playing, but it definitely goes further than that. If you think that having a great jazz tone is all about getting yourself a huge hollow body jazz box guitar, I think you'd be surprised at the types of tones you can get from the neck pickup on a Telecaster. The chord chemist himself, Mr. Ted Green, he was able to get incredible jazz tones out of his Tele, and I'm not a jazz player by any stretch of the imagination, but here's a demonstration of some of the super smooth, clean tones you can get from the neck pickup on a Telecaster that could work great for jazz playing. And as for styles like funk or R&B, middle position or neck pickup alone on the Telecaster will both give you awesome tones for those playing styles. Everything I've mentioned about my love for the Telecaster so far has been to do with tone, but another reason that I love this electric guitar design so much is the way that it's built. It's a robust, no-frills instrument. I mean, sure, some of them look very pretty, like this one here, but I feel like I could throw a Telecaster down a flight of stairs, pick it up, retune it, and be ready to gig again immediately. I'm not going to try that with this guitar, but in all seriousness, I remember hearing Brad Paisley compare the Telecaster to being like a chopping board with strings on it. And that's so accurate. I mean, look at the body. It's a big, thick slab of wood. You've got a bolt-on neck, just 2 pickups, 1 volume control, 1 tone control, a 3-way selector switch, what's commonly referred to as an ashtray bridge, you can kind of see why, with 3 brass saddles for the 6 strings, and the strings are loaded in from the back of the guitar. And I could be wrong here, but I have a feeling that that contributes to the reason why the Tele is so resonant, sounds so resonant and feels so resonant to play, because those strings are loaded in from the back and they're pulling against the body of the guitar. I could be wrong on that, but that's just a theory that I have. Essentially, what I love about this guitar design is the distinct lack of options. Sure, a Strat has 3 pickups and 5 positions on its pickup selector switch. On paper, that makes it sound like a more versatile instrument, but I still think that the Telecaster's 2 pickups and 3-way selector switch take home the versatility prize at the end of the day. And again, I think a large part of that is down to the tonal characteristics of the Tele's bridge pickup. Also, I hate tremolos. I think I've used the trem on my Strat 1 time. I used it once before I put 5 springs in the back and essentially blocked it off. So that's another plus for the Telecaster. If you break a string on stage when you're playing a song, it's not as much of a disaster as it is when you break a string on your Strat and that tremolo sends all of the other strings out of tune and you really can't continue playing the song until you restring the entire guitar. And when it comes to Les Pauls, SGs, 335s, the 2 volume controls and 2 tone controls have always annoyed me. I really just want 1 volume and 1 tone to keep things simple. And speaking of those guitars, the shorter scale length just feels uncomfortable when compared to the longer scale length that you get on Fender guitars, which I much prefer. Now, it's not that I hate Strats or that I hate Les Pauls or 335s or any of those guitars. I love them all. They are classic designs that I think every guitar player should ideally have in their collection, right? If money wasn't an object, of course. As I said at the start of the video, my custom shop Strat is my favorite guitar in my collection. I'm just literally saying that if I was stranded on a desert island, the Telecaster would be my #1 choice of guitar. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.